Baby, we're back. The Premier League is back. The international football is over for another month. And, well, look, we're back. We're really happy to be back. I'm in a happy mood. I hope you are as well. We're going to fly into some of the Premier League games over the weekend. We'll have a look at the table, etc. But I want to just fly in and say, Nicola Pepe, Harry Maguire, are they flops? Are they flops? Because you look on social media and, you may think that they are. Oh, Nicola Pepe ain't scored a goal for Arsenal yet. He must be a flop. Harry Maguire made a mistake and gave a penalty away against England. Must be a flop. Of course they're not bloody flops. I support Manchester United. Obviously, I'm going to support Harry Maguire. I don't support Arsenal. But Nicola Pepe's not a flop. I just think it's the flip-flop nature of modern football, and we're all guilty of it. We are all guilty of it because sometimes it's just about bantering people, winding them up, etc. But I do think sometimes we fall into the trap of believing this nonsense. And I also want to talk about Vincent Kompany saying that Van Dijk is the best centre-back the Premier League's ever had, because that's a nonsense. But we'll talk about that in a moment. I'm sorry, Liverpool fans, I do rate Van Dijk, but that is a nonsense. It's like Joey Barton saying that, I don't know, Joey Barton saying that, who's a half-decent midfielder, I'm trying to think. Joey Barton saying that Darren Fletcher was the best midfielder in Premier League history. He's not. And, Vincent Kompany's not the best either. So why is his opinion, to be honest, doesn't really matter. But we'll talk about that in a moment. I want to talk about flops. Let's start off with Nicola Pepe. Really do not think Arsenal fans have got anything to worry about him. He's a talented player. Look, I know they're having to show little nutmegs against Burnley players and the fact that he got past Van Dijk as justifying his price tag. He hasn't justified his price tag yet at all. Of course he's not. You want a moments of brilliance in the North London derby to turn that point into 3 points. You want moments of brilliance to maybe get you a point at Anfield. That's what you're paying big money for. But he's new to the league. He's shown glimpses. He is a good player. He certainly isn't a flop after 4 games. So I think, look, Daniel James has started off very well for Manchester United, new signing. At the moment, Daniel James, is doing a better job than Pepe, but it's a season. It might be a 3-year contract. There's a long way to go. So he's certainly not a flop yet. On the point of Harry Maguire, no way is Harry Maguire a flop. He hasn't actually done anything wrong for Manchester United yet. He made a mistake against England. But welcome to the real world. Welcome to football. This is the sport that we love. Doesn't matter whether you're Ronaldo, Messi, Joey Barton, whoever. You'll make mistakes. You'll make bad tackles. You'll be at fault for goals and things like that. It's where people lie in wait for these mistakes to then say that they're not good enough. Which brings me on to something I just wanted to play here. I'm just going to play you this clip.
Conor Coady should be one of the first names in the England squad for the Euro 2020. Gareth Southgate recently changed from a 5 at the back to 4 at the back formation, and I believe he should change back to the 5 at the back to allow Conor Coady to sit in the middle of the defence. He's one of the most consistent performers, the best passing range out of any defender I've seen in the Premier League. Harry Maguire is too slow, John Stones is unreliable, and that's why Conor Coady should be one of the first names for England squad in Euro 2020. Conor Coady should be one of the first names.
I'll listen to enough of that. So basically, who should be going to Euro 2020 for England? Get over onto that video. I've dropped the link in the video description for you. It's 888 Sport. Get over there in the comments and say Goldbridge sent you, and get in those comments and say who should be England's centre-backs for Euro 2020. Because Wolves fans make me laugh. No wonder Conor Coady's so good. All you do against the big teams is park the bloody bus with 5 defenders. I could play in a back 3 for Wolves when we're parking the bus at home. You've got another. The clue's in the back 3. Most decent centre backs play in a back 2. If you've got 3 of you, it makes your job slightly easier because there's 3 of you. And look, Conor Coady's a good centre back for Wolves. I'm not going to deny that. United have struggled to score against them. I've bloody seen it it feels like I've seen it 50 times this year. 3 times we've been to Molineux and not beat them. So he's a good defender, but he is not international class. I'm sorry. He is good on the ball. He is not international class. The only reason this is being mentioned is because Tyrone Mings got picked for the England squad, which, to be honest with you, again, I'm not convinced he's international class. So, maybe the Wolves fans are getting at that. If Mings can get selected, so can Coady. But to say that Coady should be part of the Euro 2020 first team, it's a joke. We'll get beat by Kosovo, and they're not even there. He's not good enough. I think it's just, I get it. It's a Wolves fan. They want to be, promoting their own players, etc. But not for me. Not for me. And that brings me back to saying Harry Maguire's a flop. Get over on that video. The link's in the video description. Listen to the full argument and get who should be your Euro 2020 England centre-backs on the Triple Eight Sport video. And make sure when you do put your comments in there, Goldbridge sent me, because I'm going to pop over there after this video and I'll reply to a few people on there for that and get in that debate. Because I don't want to get into that debate on here, but we can get onto that debate on there. But yeah, look, Harry Maguire's not a flop. He's not a flop. And he is England's best centre-back. And to say that he's slow and this, that and the other, look, well, if I don't care if he's slower than a dead tortoise. It doesn't matter to me because he's still England's best centre-back. So he obviously compensates for that absolutely fine. I think at Manchester United it's difficult for him. He's coming into... It's a different situation. Like, Nicola Pepe's not a flop. Harry Maguire's not a flop. It's ridiculous to say it. It's too early. It's too early to say that. But Harry Maguire's coming into a difficult situation at Manchester United. The midfield in front of him is dead. If nobody's watched my combined 11 show on the United stand for the Leicester game, you'll see how bad United's midfield is, because that combined 11 really does show it. But Harry Maguire is also not getting the sort of service he got at Leicester. The ball delivery, his ability in the air, we're not seeing that yet. Under a lot of pressure because United, are conceding a lot of possession. So it's a baptism of fire for Harry Maguire, but he's not really, Victor Lindelof's an established centre-back for United. He's been exposed this season. Harry Maguire hasn't. So I just think the price tag of Pepe and Harry Maguire makes it so that people are, starting to think things like, they're flops, this, that and the other. They're genuinely not, and it's too early to say it. On Van Dijk as the best centre-back, no. I really think Van Dijk's a very, very good centre-back. I think he deserves to win FIFA Player of the Year, Ballon d'Or, whatever they're calling it this year, I don't know. He deserves to win that. I think he deserves it over Messi and Ronaldo, which maybe is controversial in itself. But is he the best centre-back the Premier League's ever had? No. He's not even been at Liverpool 2 years yet. He's been there 18 months. He was a good centre-back at Southampton. He was decent in his first few months at Liverpool, and he had an amazing season last year. But Mo Salah had an amazing season the season before that. Is he the best attacker the Premier League's ever had? No, because Ronaldo did it for more than one season. Thierry Henry did it for more than one season. Van Dijk's got to be as good as last season, this season and next season, and then I think you can say he's the best centre-back the Premier League's ever had. Potentially. But Vidic, Ferdinand, John Terry did it for years. They did what Van Dijk did last year for years. Like, Van Dijk stood out a lot last year because obviously Liverpool had to defend a lot. But Terry was doing that for Chelsea. Ferdinand and Vidic were doing it together as well. Maybe that's an argument. Van Dijk has to do it on his own. He hasn't really got an established partner with him at Liverpool. But for me, he's in the argument, but he ain't winning the argument until he's done it for 2 or 3 years. And I think any sane Liverpool fan would agree with that. Of course you're going to say he's the best ever. But, realistically, if you want everyone else to agree with you, he's going to have to do it for 2 or 3 years. What if he suddenly starts playing shit? Then he's not, is he? If you're going to be the best, I don't think people understand. If you're going to be the best ever, you've got to do it over a period of time. It can't just be the best season. You've got to do it 2 or 3 years at least. And I think, as I say, anybody sane would understand that. Let's go to the Premier League table then, and let's have a look at some of the fixtures. So the Premier League this weekend, I'm absolutely stunned that Manchester United versus Leicester is not on the television. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff, which absolutely amazes me. It really amazes me because I just think, why? Why is it not on the telly? Because it's the biggest game of the weekend, but it's 3 o'clock on Saturday. So that's disappointing. But look, if Leicester win that game, they're already 3 points ahead of United in 8th. They'd be 6 points ahead of them after 5 games. And that's tough for United to swallow because I don't think Leicester will make top 4. I really don't. Arsenal, obviously they're in 5th at the moment. Liverpool and Man City running away with it. But let's have a look at the fixtures. So Liverpool playing Newcastle at home on Saturday lunchtime. You know what, Newcastle, it's a shame you couldn't have another week holiday, isn't it? Because you're going to get beat. There's just Newcastle are not getting anything at Anfield. It's a straightforward win. It's a straightforward win for them. Brighton against Burnley. I said on the United Stand podcast this week, I predicted the Watford manager would be first to be sacked, and I predict that the Brighton manager will be next to be sacked. I think Brighton have got some games that are, they are the Burnleys. I think they've got Sheffield United or something like that coming up as well. But I think Burnley will go and beat them. I think Burnley are going to go and beat Brighton. Scoreline, probably 2-0. Liverpool, I think, will beat Newcastle about 4-0. United, Leicester. I fancy United to win that. I'm going to go United 1-0. Sheffield United, Southampton. Again, this is a really interesting game. Both teams down at the bottom sort of end of the table. For me, I think that Sheffield United will get something out of that. Southampton, a little bit toothless. They're a good team. Southampton could roll up to Sheffield and win 3 or 4-0, but I do think Sheffield United might get something out of that, so I'm going to go 2-1 to them. Tottenham against Crystal Palace. Tottenham have got to start winning these sort of games. Palace went to Old Trafford and won. So they can certainly go to Tottenham and win. Tottenham obviously losing their last home game to Newcastle. Tottenham have had 2 good draws. They've been to the Etihad and got a draw. They've been to the Emirates and got a draw. They've now started, these are the games. There's no point drawing at Arsenal and drawing at Man City if you don't beat Crystal Palace and Newcastle at home. They didn't beat Newcastle, they lost. So they're going to have to go to get Palace and win it. I think they will win. Harry Kane's looking good at the moment. Palace conceded a lot of possession to United at Old Trafford. So I think Tottenham will win that 2-0. Wolves against Chelsea. I can't wait for this game because I'm really excited about Wolves against Chelsea for the simple reason, as a United fan, Wolves irritate me. They always seem to get, we can't win there. But a lot of United fans say, wow, it's a good point at the Molineux. It's a good point at the Molineux. I'm not convinced it is. I don't think Wolves are that good this year. And I think that Man City and Liverpool and the top sides will go to Molineux and win. So this is the proof in the pudding, really. Will Chelsea go to Molineux and win? And then let's not forget, Chelsea and United are quite similar. They, crap transfer windows. One had a ban, Chelsea. New managers, new visions, new ideas. But I think Chelsea are going to go to Molineux and win. And I think that's going to expose that Wolves are not actually that good this season. So I'm going to go Chelsea to go and win 2-0, which I think is you probably get good odds on Chelsea going there because I think a lot of people will expect Wolves to get a result. I don't. And then the 5:30 game. Why is this on the telly? Norwich against Man City when you could have had Leicester United. Norwich, Man City, look, it's boring. It's boring. Man City could win this in their pyjamas with their women's team. And that's nothing against their women's team. They're quite good. But they'll win this game. It's boring. It is boring. Manchester City and Liverpool playing everybody in the league at the moment pretty much is boring. They're going to win. So nothing more to say. City will pump Norwich. Absolutely pump them. Moving on to the Sunday games, you've got Bournemouth against Everton. I think that's an interesting game. That's a 2:00 game. Everton are doing quite well at the moment. If they can go and start winning games like that away from home, then suddenly they are a team that maybe could be pushing for 6th. I don't think they will. I think Bournemouth will quite fancy their chances against Everton. I can see it being a draw, 1-1. And Watford Arsenal, which I'm actually thinking, I don't even know to do a watch along this weekend. I said I wanted to try and do a watch along every sort of Premier League weekend. It's difficult because the televised games are crap. And obviously I'll be doing United Leicester at 3:00 on the United stand anyway. So I don't fancy Norwich Man City. I don't fancy Liverpool Newcastle. So realistically, it's one of the Sunday games. And I think probably I'll do Watford Arsenal. I think Watford, new manager, I think Watford's team's okay. I think it's a decent team, Watford. They're a top half Premier League side. So they've had a bad start. They've sacked their manager. They've still got good players. But will they have enough to beat Arsenal? I just don't know. I don't know. Let's find out on the watch along on Sunday. But I don't know. I think maybe this will be the game that Nicola Pepe arrives. So Watford, Arsenal, for me, I'm going to go an Arsenal win. I think Arsenal might win it 3-1. But you never know. You get a bounce with a new manager. It's a potential banana skin for Arsenal. And then on Monday, Aston Villa against West Ham. Monday Night Football. Interesting game. Interesting game. Because I think that Villa need to win this game. West Ham do as well. West Ham have got United coming up the weekend after. So I can see this being a draw as well. I'm going to go 1-1 with that as well. I'll go 1-1. Anyway, there we go. That's my thoughts on the Premier League. Good to have it back. What are your thoughts? Do you think Nicola Pepe's a flop? Do you think Harry Maguire's a flop? I really, really don't. And who should England be taking as their England Euro 2020 centre-backs? Go to the 888 Sport video. Get in the comments, say Goldbridge sent me. These are the centre-backs who should be starting for England at Euro 2020, and I'll pop over and have a read of some of your comments and give a reply on that as well. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, smash a like on the video, watch-alongs galore coming up now. We're back into the real football. We'll have Arsenal-Watford on Sunday. We'll do Liverpool-Napoli on Tuesday with an eye on Barcelona-Dortmund, and then Wednesday it's a PSG versus Real Madrid. So loads of watch-alongs coming up on this channel. Make sure you subscribe if you are new, smash a like on the video, and pop over to the 888 Sport video and get into that Euro 2020 debate. Connor Cody, you're having a laugh.